How the first couple practices going so far?
They've been good. Obviously we make our mistakes here and there. We got things to clean up. We know we're not, where we want to be at yet. So, all we emphasize is competing, working together and whatnot, and making sure that we, if we're gonna play fast, make a mistake fast, do all those things.
You were a guy that I guess anybody could just leave, but you were a guy that got an extra year this year. So why did you decide to come back, and what are you looking forward to most?
It was like a long process for me, really thinking about whether or not I wanted to come back, and ultimately, I prayed on it, and God has a plan for me, and a lot of things that I feel like He was talking to me about was, I'm not done here yet. I have a lot to leave as far as like my legacy. I have a lot to make an impact on as far as the younger guys coming up. Talked to some people about it, but ultimately it was just, between me and God, just praying on it, because I couldn't make the decision by myself. So
6 years is a long time. How have you changed, maybe as a football player? How have you changed as a person? How have you evolved over these 6 years?
I've grown a lot, maturity, leadership, as far as knowing the defense. I can help just about anybody that's on the field. I look back, when I was a young buck and I was under guys, and I say these guys after like every interview, but Keikoa, DP, Happel, even Evan Tyler, just having those other guys helped me out when I was a young buck coming up. I feel like I'm in their shoes now, and I'm helping the young guys, Zion, Shea, Rodney, and such short. But I would say like just maturity, leadership, a lot of that stuff I've stepped up in a lot.
So have you always played safety in your career, or is that a position that you kind of gravitated towards once you got to college?
No. When I started playing football, I don't think I've ever played a position back-to-back years. So it was receiver, defensive end. Then I went back to receiver. I never in my career have I ever, until I got to college, have I played a position back-to-back years. So, I was just all over the place. But here, I've played nothing but safety. I've moved around a little bit over the course of like spring ball practices, summer practices, and whatnot. But that just helped me grow my knowledge as far as like how our defense is structured, getting the communication across and whatnot. But
as you mentioned, 5 years in the same role. How have you grown on the field in that role in those 5 years? Where have you grown the most?
I would say being a lot more vocal, taking control of the defense. My position specifically asks a lot, and it demands a lot as far as setting the coverage and making sure that we as a defensive core are all on the same page, including the backers, whoever's in coverage. My job really is demanding as far as communicating across the field and making sure everybody's on the same page.
Tyreque, you reflect on last season, looking ahead to this season. What's one area of your game you want to take to that next level?
Overall, I just want to improve as an overall player. I don't want to have anything that stands out to where, it could be sought out and picked apart for the most part. I still feel like I can improve in my tackling, coverage. I even feel like I can be something that's small that people don't notice. I could be more vocal, and just lead, the defense for the most part. So, as far as just my game, I want to improve every aspect of it. I don't feel like I'm excelling in anything that stands out over the other.
Well, last year you obviously weren't sure you're coming back or not. Now like this is it. This is my last go around here. How do you approach that mentally? And obviously you came back for a reason. So what do you hope to get out of this year?
I kind of had it preset. I was telling you guys a lot last year. I was about 90% coming back. So once I did finally, make the announcement and let it be known that I was coming back, I was already locked in. I had some time to myself back home to really reflect on the season and think about, whether or not this is what I wanted to do. And once I made the decision, it's, I'm all in at that point. There's no going back. So it wasn't that hard to really get my mindset on, I'm going to be here. And now that I'm here, I got to focus on what I have here in front of me.
When you were going through that process, did you ever talk to JL about it? Are you guys kind of a tandem where you talk about things like that together? Are you kind of a package deal coming back this year?
We had one conversation. He probably doesn't remember because his memory sucks. But he kind of just gave me that deal, like, hey, what you gonna do? And he announced it a little bit later than I did, but I already knew he was coming back. So just to have him kind of come to me and be like, hey, big bro, like, what we gonna do? Like, we run this show back here. And then for me to just kind of just look at him like, yeah, like, it's go time. So Yeah, we had one talk about it. I mean, it wasn't something that like was egged on for so long. I think
Sure.
once we kind of, connected and got on the same page, we were just like, all right, bet, like, let's do it, So, yeah.
How much of an edge does that give you guys? You played a lot of plays together, whereas if, say, you had left or he had left and you'd have another one, where does that put you guys as far as ahead in working together?
The chemistry. I mean, just to be able to be on the same field. I've, been back there with him for the past 2 years now. So just to be able to just continue to grow together, build. He's another guy that leads the defensive back with me, the defensive back core with me. So to be able to have him back and, and I know for him, he feels the same way about me coming back. It takes a lot of stress off of, how we run the show on the back end. I can rely on him to take care of what he needs to take care of, communicate what he needs to communicate, and he knows he can do that with me in all aspects. And regardless if he needs help or anything, or if I need help, we know we have each other's back. So, it's good to be back with my guy.
How much production can you guys get this spring with Coach Ione being here too than last year, where kind of everything is just new? Can you get better, easier this spring than last?
I feel like one thing that kind of gets overlooked is that, yes, players have their chemistry and they need that to be on the field, but it's the same thing with the coaches. So, him coming in last year was a lot of us building, the foundation and the chemistry that, we have coming into this year. So to be able to, have him back again for another year, and then, to have us, all we're doing is we're just continuing to grow together as a group, and, even though he's our coach, he never looks at us. He never looks down on us, as far as you guys are players, I'm a coach. He involves us, he includes us in everything. And for the most part, he lets us, play football for the most part, Yeah, I would say just, overall as a group between me, Coach Ione, and JL, we're able to just, just build our chemistry together and grow together and then just run the show for our defense.
We're going to talk to Hank next. How's Hank look this year, going into fourth year as a starter? I mean, what's he looking like from the other side of the field?
See, me being a defensive guy, I don't want to give him too much praise, but I mean, I like where he's taking his steps, and to have Hank play last year with that injury, he looks like he's coming back and he's progressing. So that's good to have. I mean, because to know that your quarterback's gonna ride or die with you regardless of an injury or something, as long as he can throw the ball and do what he needs to do, he's gonna play. So I mean, to see that he's coming back out here and he had his surgery, he's trying to get back to 100%. It's good to see him out there moving around and doing his thing.
You guys are